Olá, meu nome é Marcos Frank e tive uma conversa muito legal com o Ronnie Atkins, que virá pela primeira vez ao Brasil com sua banda Pretty Maids. Famoso por suas performances ao lado do Avantasia, Ronnie está animado por tocar pela primeira vez no Brasil com sua banda, que já possui uma discografia recheada de clássicos e 40 anos de história. Ronnie também é um milagre da medicina, que mesmo lutando contra um câncer, consegue se superar vocalmente e fazer turnês ao redor do mundo. Com vocês, Ronnie Atkins. Ronnie, Pretty Maids is completing more than 40 years of existence. How do you see the band's evolution from that cold afternoon in Horsens in 1981 to today?
I think we just, I think we were pretty fortunate that we had the possibility to carry out our childhood dreams, which we did, and we came in at a time where things were different. We came in back in the day when you actually sold a lot, sold records, sold vinyl, CDs, and everything. Actually, not CDs when we started, but we came in at the right point. We grew up with all the new wave of British heavy metal movement, and also were inspired by bands from America like Van Halen, Journey, and stuff like that. Yeah, and then 40. I can't believe it's actually 42 years ago, but it is actually 43. It's weird. We've seen a lot of sub genres come and go. We got the grunge and new metal and whatever it was called, all of it. But we're still here. We're still alive. We had like a 5-year break, but now we're sort of back again. As long as it's fun, it's worth doing it.
And the name Pretty Maids has always intrigued fans. Can you tell us a little bit the story behind the choice and how this reflected the time, the band's identity?
In the beginning, I think a lot of people thought it was a girly band. For a good reason, because of the name. But the truth is that when I joined the band, the band was kind of formed. Some of the guys, there's only Ken left now, and they had this band, and they called it Pretty Maids, and they already had their own Pretty Maids T-shirts made. And when I joined in, I thought that was pretty cool. And then we started writing our own songs and stuff like that, and we talked about maybe changing the name because it was intriguing. People got a little confused about it. So we had some other names, but then we can't afford to make new T-shirts, so we stopped with the band Pretty Maids, with the Pretty Maids name, because we already had the T-shirts printed. As stupid as it sounds, nevertheless it's the truth. So yeah, we just kept it,
Interesting. And it's also cool to know that the Pretty Maids sound was always known for blending power metal music with a lot of melodies. How would you describe Pretty Maids sound to someone who has never heard the band before?
Well, pretty much as you just did yourself, because it is probably basically because we grew up with the new wave of British heavy metal, like bands like Priest, Iron Maiden, Def Leppard, and all that stuff. And at the same time, we love bands like the American stuff like Journey and Toto, Foreigner, that kind of stuff. So it was always a little pop involved. It just had to be melodic. I think it was a combination between good guitar riffs, the keyboards, and the vocals. And I think the albums, like the first album, Red Hot and Heavy, was the album where we really kind of defined our own sound. I think, and Future World kind of consolidated that. That was probably the biggest commercial album we had back then. But I think like a song like Future World, you take the song, I think that's a very, very good example on what I consider a good Pretty Maids song, because it's got it all. And to this day, so many years on, I still enjoy it. So I still enjoy it. I can't say that about all of them. And I never get fed up playing that song. It's a great song.
Awesome. And albums like Red Hot and Heavy and even Future World are considered melodic metal classics. Is there any song of these albums that still moves you in a special way when you perform them live?
Yeah, I think like songs like, well, it's, as I just said, a song like Future World is definitely absolutely one of my favorites. I still think there's a lot of these songs are okay to play live because they rock, you know, and I don't know if they particularly move me, but that would be big words. But you know, some people are. I've been fed up playing some of their old stuff. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ozzy would be fed up playing Paranoid or Iron Man or something like that. But it's songs that it's song people want to hear because it means something to people, you know. And then you just gotta give the people what they want, and at the same time do it with a certain where where it sounds convincing. You know? So it's important that, that it's kind of a combi between what people want to hear and what we want to play. You know?
Interesting. And in 2019, you faced lung cancer diagnosis. How has this experience with this sickness affected your approach to music and life?
Well, it basically affected my life in the way that I don't take things for granted anymore. I know that there's an end date to this life, you know. But I also got to say that I've actually used music like some kind of psychotherapy for myself to get out of a very bad situation. And which is very, you can hear that on my solo albums. It's a very honest lyrically and probably more emotional than anything I've done in the past. I'm 5 years on. I mean, 5 years ago, I would never have thought that I would be able to do this today. You know, because I had parts of my lungs removed. I wasn't even sure if I was going to sing again. And since that I had chronic asthmatic bronchitis as a sequelae to immune therapy. I got
Wow.
that in 2023. So I mean, all the odds are actually has been against me, but I'm still here, and I'm so humble and you know actually happy. I feel I'm blessed that I'm still allowed to do this after so many years.
You know that this is awesome, and you know that some vocalists like Bruce Dickinson said told that they used you as a reference to their vocal style of singing. Did you know that some vocalists like that were so famous afterwards had you as a reference?
Absolutely not. No, I never heard about that. I never heard that.
It's it's
But I
it's
mean,
interesting.
yeah, I never heard that. But I heard from fans that I can write me on my social medias. I've seen that my example has been great for other people who either had cancer themselves or knew people in their close family or friends who had cancer. That it's actually possible. But I also got to say, cancer. You know, what cancer do you have? I mean, cancer is different from person to person, and the way the treatment works is also different from person to person. I've just been fortunate, as I said. I feel like I'm blessed by Jesus, God, whatsoever. I mean, like I said, I don't take anything for granted, so I have a very humble opinion about this. You know, but if I can serve as a good example for others to give people hope, it makes me even more happy. You know, because I still have an incurable disease. I still have stage 4 cancer, and it is incurable according to the journal. And I still being checked now and then. So I might be a little bit on borrowed time. I don't know. We all are actually. You know, we never
We
know
all
what.
are.
You could be run over by a truck or don't go down with a plane or have a heart attack, cardiac arrest. You know, it's just the way it is. So I just enjoy everyday life. I really do.
Awesome. And Nordic culture seems to have a strong influence in your music. How do your Danish roots manifest in your compositions?
Well, I don't know if it has actually. As I said, you know, we I think we're just um, from the writing out of what we got inspired by back then. Like as I said, the English and the American scene, really. We just had a good flair for writing catchy songs, I guess, you know. And then the thing about writing is that if you write a song on a guitar or on a piano, the thing is that if it sounds good, you know, you got something good. Then it's a matter of how you produce it, matter of production. Should it be a metal song, or should it be an acoustic song, or whatever? You can go in all kinds of directions. Actually, I don't know if there's a specific Nordic formula, but I know there's a lot of great Swedish bands, and who also made it big throughout the years, and Norwegian bands, but particularly a lot of great Swedish bands. I work a lot on my solo project. Work a lot with a lot of Swedish musicians. There's so many great musicians out there, singers, guitar players, drummers.
It's amazing how the Nordic culture has so many bands. It's amazing.
Oh. And actually, right now I'm traveling with two great singers like Kenny Leckremo from Heat and Tommy Carby from Camelot. They're both in Avantasia now, and they're great singers. Great singers. That's
amazing.
A lot of good singers coming from there. Sure.
And after so many years in your career, what still motivates you to get on stage and perform, even with other bands like Avantasia?
The fun, the camaraderie, and above all, the fans. This is as I said. I don't know if it was in this interview or the interview before, but as I said, I don't take anything for granted. But the thing is that I'm basically still carrying out my childhood dream. What I'm doing now is everything I dreamed about doing when I was 10 years old. And I had the chance to do it. And I'm so fortunate, I think, that I'm so able to pull it off as well, But I just enjoy it, man. I enjoy it because, playing in front of thousands of people still, at the age of 60 is quite surreal to me. As I said, 5 years ago, I never thought I'd do that again. So, fantastic.
Awesome. And it is so cool to have Pretty Maids for the first time in Brazil performing at a big festival like Bangers Open Air. It's rare to have a metal festival in São Paulo in Brazil. It is like Bangers is like the first big music festival for headbangers. Mm-hmm. What would you say to these fans that are anxious to see Pretty Maids playing live, performing for the first time in Brazil?
Well, I can easily assure you that the band is looking so much forward to do it. I think I'm the only one in the band who's been to South America, but I've been there with Avantasia. And I told the guys back home, I said, this is the craziest motherfucking audience that I ever performed for. And I'm talking about South America in general, but it's just so loud and people are having such a good time. It's so touching, actually, emotional, because people know all the songs. And I don't know about the Pretty Maids songs, but I haven't played them yet. But anyway, Pretty Maids is very much looking forward to playing it for the Brazilian fans. That's for sure. That I can guarantee. And I hope we're going to have a great night. We would love to play 2-hour set, because we haven't played that before. We have to cook down 42 years of music, 16 albums, whatever, into 1 hour or something like that. So that is a task.
That is a task, yeah. And it's so many different stages of Pretty Maids. You guys went through hard rock, power metal, melodic rock, and heavy metal. You've been everywhere, so it's pretty hard to be Pretty Maids nowadays.
It is. But it will be like some of the new stuff. It will probably basically, how many songs will it be? 10, 12 songs.
Yeah.
12 or 13 songs, it'll be great. So probably be some of the stuff from the 80s, from the Red Hot and Future World albums, and be some stuff from Pandemonium and some of the albums that came after that. Because we had like a second arising. The band never broke up, but we had a second arising in 2010 when the Pandemonium album came out. Little Drops of Heaven became a hit for us over here and stuff like that. So we're looking forward to it. Absolutely.
Awesome. This is the end of this interview. Thank you.